Welcome to Legends of Data and AI. Each episode includes inspiring and actionable data and artificial intelligence insights from global leaders across industries. Your host, Dr. Usama Fayyad, was the first Chief Data Officer at Yahoo and is Chairman of Open Insights and Executive Director of the Institute for Experiential AI at Northeastern University.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of our podcast, Legends of Data and AI, where we speak with industry experts and people who have gained wisdom from having lots of experiences utilizing the technologies in many interesting settings. We are lucky today to have with us someone who comes to us from the heart of the big data world in retail industry. Rida Moustafa is a chief data scientist at Walmart, where he has built an outstanding data science team, and has been working there for 7 years on a variety of projects in many areas at Walmart. Before that, he has worked and led many projects working with government agencies such as Ginnie Mae, Small Business Administration, the U.S. Geological Survey. He's also been a visiting professor and a lecturer at several other universities, including George Washington, Georgetown, Johns Hopkins, the American University in Cairo, in addition to George Mason, where he did his PhD in machine learning and AI and data mining. And his PhD was nominated for and received an award from that university. Welcome, Rida, and great to have you here.
Thank you, Usama. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and learn from you as well. And the legend of AI is very catchy and very interesting. And it's amazing that we share our ideas for not for us, but for outside for the community.
Yes, and what we mean by legends of data and AI is not the people are the legends, it's actually the problems and the issues that people face. So as the chief data scientist and someone who's got this exposure working at the world's largest retailer, tell us, how do you even begin to contribute to a place with a very well-known and established great data legacy?
Well, it started with this is the for retail industry with large retail industry like Walmart. It's very interesting to see tiny modification or introducing new idea can be translated to multi-million-dollar. It's a really high rewarding or the high stake when you the size of the prize is really high. So you find that in moving from a model or understanding retail centric around the buy low, sell high, and optimize in between, that's a standard model for all retailer. Now, the chance for us is just how we leverage the data and make that decision, whether we optimize in between, we would figure out the best model for buy low or sell high, and doing that at a fast pace using the high performance machine and the computing power and the AI and the machine learning, that would help us to improve the baseline and get that high rewarding project out. So that was the beginning with Walmart. Of course, the era of big data, that's what really attracted us. That of course, you have the best association model in the world for retail industry. You get to discover so many relationships that you hard to discover, and by deploying such finding and insights, that would impact not only the retail. The retail cares about customers, and that's what we are about.
From your perspective, Rida, could you share with us some surprising or unexpected correlations in the data and kind of their business consequences in retail?
Well, as I mentioned, Sam, the association is the best association. I will ask you this question: what do you think the highest selling items for all the groceries in all department or all the stores? What that item would be?
Highest selling item for grocery stores. I would guess it's probably either beverage or chips.
It's interesting. It's not that, but it's a bananas. And the highest frequent item that we have seen in the basket is a banana. That's mean the highest selling item. And that lead to multiple indices. One of the indices, they call it banana index. When someone, even the CEO, when they enter the store, the first thing is just to go to banana section and see how we are doing there. And from there, he can just quickly get estimate of how the store is well run. And so many things, even the deals with the vendors and suppliers around these bananas, because we have to secure it for the customer, never run out of bananas. Yeah.
Very interesting. Any other interesting, unexpected correlations, for example?
Well, the second one is when you enter a store, you get the perception that you have out store is a measure called the clean and fast and friendly or clean, fast, friendly store. If the store actually CFF store, very interesting concept that you see that the store that's clean and fast friendly, that's also indicative the store is very well run, very well managed, and that because there are so many correlations to that. The CFF correlation to safety, because the store is safe, the store is actually well-educated people perhaps, and well-educated customer in general, and with well-educated managers to take care of all these things.
So for example, if a store is clean and fast, does that mean higher sales?
Well, it's a sign sometimes for higher sale in general. Yes, you can say so, because people tended to go to store. So imagine that one of the things that the restroom of any restaurant or any store is clean, that's a good sign that this is a good store. So you most likely, I like to go there one more time. So it's attracting people to go to store, do shopping, and the safety, because if the store is slippery and people that just cause an accident, they interrupt the sale, people don't like to go there, and so on and so forth. So it's very interesting.
Indeed, these are two kind of very, very surprising, correlations that go deep into the performance of the business and are kind of suggest all sorts of metrics and KPIs that could be measured around them. I've seen many examples of retailers doing technology for technology's sake with no clear retail business case. I always wondered when I walk into an Amazon Go store, that huge investment in technology, all the sensors and the cameras and the intensity of those sensors, typically if you look up at the ceiling, it strikes me that makes no sense for replacing a cashier or automating something. Do you think this is an example of over-investing in technology for a retailer?
Usama, I don't like to disagree with you, but because of that example, I actually disagree with that, and always debating and challenging my executives about it. It's basically we don't have enough information or well-trained AI and machine learning product about the human behavior. And Amazon Go is not about the ROI, it's just how to capture the human behavior. Even if we spend millions of dollar experiments, we should be able to build the next gen AI system about the human behavior.
So what would be the payoff for Amazon?
Well, payoff is just a very well-trained system that could be used outside Amazon. For example, if with Amazon Go, people get the attention that they are customer-centric, regardless of the ROI. So the ROI is negative. Even for a company like Walmart, the ROI for how they scale Amazon Go to a store like Walmart, never gonna happen. It's gonna just chew the budget. So, but company like Amazon, they were able to monetize their products to the government, to other places, so they should be able to make money out of it. And if we track that, after Amazon Go, Amazon actually sealed a deal with the government for tracking several things in the field, and even human behavior should be able to glean out of it.
Yeah, no, that's actually a very interesting observation, Rida. In fact, it runs in parallel to the whole Amazon Web Services and the cloud services. You know, Amazon, a retailer, who would have thought they would become the biggest cloud provider in the world as a side effect of just investing in technology and doing business. So that's a great lesson.
Yeah.
I wanted to I wanted to shift gears here and talk a little bit about kind of more core data technologies. So if we take something like data streaming and leveraging real-time data, and especially as kind of retailers are moving online, and you know, traditional retailers like Targets, Macy's, you know, H&M, and many other large grocers moving online as well. You know, what do you think is the role of data streaming and real-time data?
Well, in data streaming and real-time data, as you know, Sama, is basically because we have the maturity of the models, the machine learning AI capable now of mining data or understanding data on the fly, real-time. And the opportunities that we have for retail is huge. One of the things that not only about selling item, but again about the IoT that's becoming very strong and embedded in many systems in a store. And you can analyze quickly the human in the customer in a store, and then you can target these customers with whatever you wanted to target to increase your sales. But not only that, it's just we're talking about the streaming data for e-commerce. You can build the recommendation system on the fly for what they have, and you combine the digital with the physical transactions to come up with the personalized shopping cart ready for the customer on the next time, or even after he leaves the account. Whether this is customized based on the demand or customized based on the customer actually shopping pattern, or customized based on the spending habit. And you can do this on the fly for any customer personalization, basically.
And of course, personalization is a big driver of increasing sales, of loyalty, of delighting the customer, etc. Why would, you know, from your experience, from your you know, years of experience in retail and working in that space, what would be your advice to kind of, why would top talent consider in data and AI, consider working at a large retailer? What would be exciting about the job?
Well, the exciting is the challenges. So if you really wanted to work on a big challenging problem that's out there, starting from everything that you think about. You talk about financial system, where you will talk about transactional data. You talk about how many items and the association analysis. You talk about store allocation, where you build a new store or allocate store, and how this would deal with the interaction with existing stores and the existing competitors. You see the dynamics, and this problem never been easy. If you talk about supply chain itself, you know, Walmart for logistics, it's logistics, one of the top in the industry. It still needs some, you know, modernization, perhaps. It's with the data, with huge data, you should be able to turn everything to customer centric, and you should be able to turn the data into insights and take the insights into action. And the increase the sales or the size of the price is a huge you can feel that you contributed, or you will be accomplished data scientist once you work on these big challenges, data science
Indeed.
and analytics and retail.
Indeed, it's definitely a very close and direct link to driving revenues and driving the economy. While one of the questions I always wondered about, right? I mean, companies like Walmart and many other of the large-scale retailers, you know, they kind of wrote the book and optimized the supply chain, and kind of how do you deal with large volumes. Yet AI offers the promise of personalization, individually targeted relevance experience. Are these two contradictory? Kind of thinking about optimizing prices as the prime directive, how do I get to the lowest possible prices, versus personalizing and targeting for individual customers? How do those two come together?
I will perhaps ask you this question. How many times you bought an item that you like because it's cheap price? Sometimes we buy people buy, I don't like to talk about things, but people buy iPhone, which is very expensive, because it suits them, it has everything they need, what they look for. So the low price and where I can get it, and that's not valid. It's all about customer centric. The customer needs what customer understanding, basically, and all the industry will returning. Most of the projects I am hearing about within Walmart, outside Walmart, customer centric is if you understand the customer, what the customer behavior, the customer psychology, and how things turned around, you should be able to convince and sell. It's not so optimizing between everything. This is all the model. This is all the model. Now the data and we're talking about last mile. You can optimize the last mile because you want to make money, but you can make money by selling 10 iPhones. That's 10,000. Some other department, the toy department, can in a month can sell by $10,000. So you can look at those two sides of the coin.
Oh, that's a great observation, actually. I will finish with one last question. Data and AI, whether it's Walmart or any large retailer, is it a nice to have, a must have? Is it essential for surviving? What are your thoughts on that topic?
I would call essential for surviving. The industry, the competition is very high, and the race also is very high for AI, data and AI, not only because you are not the top retailer, you want to continue and you stay as a top retailer. Now, companies like, if you look at Amazon history, that's a short time, and it's becoming the top e-commerce business. And it's not only the top e-commerce, but it's becoming also threat to the IT companies in the world. So what happened here is just how to leverage the data and science, whether this science is going to be stat, machine learning, and machine learning part of AI is part of AI, but how to make effective data-driven decisions on the fly and respond to the customer demand in a shorter time. That's how things are these days for all the retailers, including Walmart.
Rida, it's been great having this chat with you. Rida Moustafa, Chief Data Scientist at Walmart, thank you for sharing your experience, and thank you for being with us on this podcast.
Thanks, Usama, for having me.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Legends of Data and AI. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of data and AI. If you're keen to learn more about making data and AI work in the real world and in any organization, join us next episode and subscribe to the podcast. As always, you can head over to open-insights.com to sign up for our email list, learn more about the work we do, and have access to data resources. See you on the next podcast.